What's up, guys? Monster Michael Todd here, and these are my predictions for East vs. West 21. Be sure to use code Michael for $3 off the extended pay-per-view. It's going to be after pulls, everything else after the event's over, plus the entire pay-per-view. Should be pretty cool. Let's get right into the matches. All right, so left-hand match, Anna Gronlund versus Jocelyn Brisbane. Jocelyn has some big wins in that round robin, beating Sarah. A lot of us thought that might have just been a fluke because one time wasn't a super match. Then we saw her in March this year go ahead and beat Sarah 3-0, which was amazing. Since then, she had a couple of tough matches. She pulled Gabby, she pulled Ekle, and those girls are absolutely insane. So kind of understand she's right there at that cusp. Now, Anna is a world champion. She's lighter weight. As strong as Jocelyn is, as good of an arm wrestler she is, as strong as she is, I think Anna's going to have the experience. So I'm going 55-45 with Anna, but I would not be surprised if Jocelyn was able to pull it off. By the way, these are the undercard matches, which I think is a phenomenal idea. Basically, that means they're going to show 4 matches on the undercard, which I believe is going to be on East vs. West or EVW Sports YouTube channel. I've told them this for a while. It's been a proven model with UFC. It just makes a ton of sense. They talk about how long the pay-per-view cards are. Shorten the pay-per-views, give some free action to the folks. I think this is a great decision by East vs. West. Let me know your thoughts. All right, we got Shederingas versus Jason Merlo. Apparently Shederingas is a stud, pulled real well with Devin in a practice pull. I heard that he just beat John Therian handedly. I think that might have been on the right arm. Jason Merlo is an absolute stud as well. He just recently beat Paul Talbot left-handed, which is huge. All the hype around the Shederingas kid makes you think that he might be the favorite, but with Jason Merlo recently beating Paul Talbot. Paul Talbot is super strong. He's been a top of the 200-pound division in North America for a very long time, with the exception of Varesh. But yeah, Paul's basically the guy to beat at 200 pounds. And from what I understand, Jason Merlo handled him pretty well. I got to go 55-45 Jason Merlo. The prelims headline, Ricard Boardman versus Schoolboy left-handed. Initially, I was thinking Schoolboy on the left arm for this, but I actually don't know. I honestly could not even tell you which way this is going to go. Ricard Boardman is an absolute young stud. He's awesome. We've all watched Schoolboy's career from his times in New York City, taking on everybody, to the young man he is today. 6'5", 270, trains like an animal, has access to some of the best arm wrestlers in the world. It's hard to not think that he could be the favorite going to this, but I'm telling you, I think there's something special about Ricard Boardman. So left arm 50-50 for me. I honestly don't know how that's going to play out, but I'm excited to watch the match. That's the undercard, which I do believe is going to be on their YouTube channel. So I believe the main event still starts at 1 p.m. Eastern. Get that information before the event on Saturday for sure. Beginning of the main card, we got Victoria Carlson versus Anna Takanaka. This is left arm. Now we saw Takanaka on the right arm look amazing, and I honestly think she had that world title match won. Might have been some bad calls, might have been just some inexperience on her part. I'm not sure, but she definitely looked like a strong arm wrestler on that day. But this is left arm. Is her left as good as her right? Victoria Carlson, any Swedish arm wrestler, it's hard to bet against them because they train like absolute animals over there. But I'm probably going to say 55-45 Takanaka. But you can't count Victoria Carlson. She's been around for a while. She trains with, Fee and all those Swedish female arm wrestlers. So obviously, very strong young lady. Next match, Paul Lynn, Bogdan Stojka. We have heard so much hype around Bogdan Stojka, even to the point where Devin pulled with him when he was on his 20-something days worth of pulling. He said Bogdan felt amazing. Bogdan did have a good win on Jason Merlo, but I still think that there's a level up from that to Paul Lynn. Paul Lynn, to me, has to be the favorite. He's the established puller. He's the former world champion at this weight. So I'm going 65-35 Paul Lynn. Tobias Forong versus Georgi Zaranov. Left arm match. Both of these guys lost to Camille. Tobias is so fast, so tall, so long. I think he's a more explosive arm wrestler. I think Zaranov is the stronger arm wrestler. Outside the strap, I could see Tobias winning. Fast, explosive hits inside the strap once he's tied to Zaranov. I think Zaranov can win. So in my opinion, all Zaranov has to do is get the strap one time and it's his. So I'm actually going 60-40 Georgi Zaranov. This is a great match. Mindaugas Terasaitis versus Daniel Prokopchik. The first time these guys arm wrestled was for the East vs. West world title. Not the first time they arm wrestled East vs. West, I believe. Daniel, I think, had won 3-0. He had to get the 4th pin. Mindaugas turned it around and came back and won 4-3, if my memory is correct. But it was an outstanding battle. I think Daniel's been working his pronation gauge back pressure quite a bit. I think his dragging power. So I think there's a very good chance he can secure those 3 pins before Mindaugas turns around. But Mindaugas has been on a tear as well. Him beating Giannis and then what he recently did to Daniel from Kazakhstan was unbelievable. Complete dominance. Extremely impressed with his performance. So I'm going 51-49 Daniel Prokopchik. Jordan Zornov versus Evgeny Prudin. At first when they announced this, I thought, oh my God, it's really good. But I thought it was a right-handed match. With it being left-handed, man, go back and look at Prudin versus Dottie Can. What? Dottie Can is an absolute stud. I'm 60-40 at least. Evgeny Prudnik left-handed versus Jordan Zornow. Now here we go, the second round of Schoolboy versus Borman. I'm a fan of both these guys, so super excited to see both their left hand. I still think a lot of people think Schoolboy should be the favorite going to this because of his experience and his access to elite world-class arm wrestlers. But there's just something about Ricard Borman to me that I think might be special. His hand, his thickness, I think these guys are going to be similar in size. I think Borman was my height, and I think he just keeps growing. I think he's probably going to be the same height as Schoolboy. I think they're both going to be around 6'5". Schoolboy was 270. I don't know if he's gained weight. I think Borman might be 280. I think he might be getting bigger. I think his hand and wrists are super strong. And I think Schoolboy, if he gets into a war, doesn't have as good of endurance. I'm 60-40 Ricard Borman on this one. I think this card is actually quite a bit of fun to watch. I think it's just going to be exciting matches. And I don't think there's a single world title match on the line on this card, which I haven't seen that in a very long time, but I still look at this card and I think, man, these are some great matches. Talking about great matches, the co-main event, Jerry Caderet versus Kamil Jablonski. I was telling Robert, I was like, listen, dude, this match will sell. If both of these guys lost to everybody they pulled and you set these guys against each other, this match is still going to sell because people want to see this collision. They want to see these two crazy shoulder forward, committed, I'm the better presser, no, I'm the better presser, run head on into each other. Now, what I think is they're both flop pressers, but I think Kamil dumps his wrist on purpose. I think Jerry tries to hold his wrist, and if you take it, then he lets it go. That being said, best way to beat a flop press is to press over the top of it. But if that flop press is faster and pushes Jerry out of position, I think Kamil might be faster. I think Jerry might be stronger. I know Jerry, in my opinion, has better defense. That's defense when someone's got his hand and his wrist is flopped. What's that defense going to look like when someone's flopping into him? This could be a train wreck. One of these guys getting up in the hospital. I have no idea. This is a crazy, crazy match. And knowing that match is right before mine, I hope I don't get some sort of adrenaline jump after watching that thing, because I'm going to definitely be, watching real close, because that's going to be an exciting match. 55-45 Jerry Caderet. And I say that only because of Jerry's experience. This match is crazy. I have no idea what's going to happen. Last match of the card, Michael Todd versus Georgi Svetkov. This is the match that's I think a lot of people want to see for a while. And a lot of people still think that his hand and wrist and center table control is going to be better than mine. The biggest issue that most people have with this matchup is, even if he can control the hand and he can control the center, what's his finish look like? How's he find a way to finish me? If he had a good enough hand and wrist, he could keep climbing, keep climbing, keep climbing. I mean, he says he's been training his press, and that's cool if you've been training your press, but it takes a really good press to press me. I personally think I'm going to control the hand. I think the match is on go is going to end up on my side of the table, meaning hand peg to hand peg center. I don't think he pulls me past 10 and 2. I don't think he pulls me past 2 o'clock. And I think I crack his wrist. And by cracking his wrist, I just mean I think his top knuckle and middle knuckle go a 1/4 inch past his wrist. And then from that position, I just start my attack, Everything has been great. We did have the Monster Factory a week and a half ago, and someone came here and got us sick. Rebecca got sick, then I got sick, and I just talked to Lars, and he went home and he was sick for 3 days. And Coach Ray and Tina were here, and Tina just posted a story, said she's never been this sick. Somebody came to the Monster Factory and got us sick. Now, that being said, right in the middle of all this sickness, I still did the heaviest riser curl I've ever done in my life just a few days ago without training riser curl for 5 months. I hit the heaviest seated pronation I've ever done. I went 10 pounds heavier than what I was programmed to do, pronation gauge back pressure. Everything I was programmed to do, I did. Yeah, so guys, that's it. Hope you like the predictions. Let me know your thoughts. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Is Jorgi going to take my hand? Am I going to take his hand? Hope to see you guys in Atlantic City. If not, be sure to get your pay-per-view.